Welcome to this week's edition of the Wheels and Deals Community Spotlight, brought to you by Wheels and Deals of Pomeroy and the Meigs Independent Press.
I'm Carrie Rose, the Meigs Independent Press, and we're here again this week with Community Spotlight, sponsored by Wheels and Deals of Pomeroy, Ohio. And we're here again in their wonderful showroom, and I'm speaking with Wendi Miller. And Wendi does a lot of volunteering and does a lot of different things. We talked about the Riverbend Arts Council before, but this time we're talking about Meigs Trade Days. Now, you've been involved with that since the beginning.
Yes.
And if you're not familiar with Meigs Trade Days, you're missing something that has really been growing and something that is a really unique and interesting Meigs County event. So tell us about what goes on with Meigs Trade Days.
We rent spaces for vendors of all types to set up and sell products that they either make, that they sell for a small company or a large company even, or they can even set up a yard sale type setting and sell.
So it's that yard sale, flea market type event.
It is, yes.
And all of this takes place at the Meigs County Fairgrounds.
Yes, on top.
And you are able to really spread out in distance and have a lot of people there.
Absolutely. We've been using multiple buildings, and that has helped us when the weather's cool. We installed heat in one of the buildings that didn't have heat before, so that's been really nice.
So how did this get started?
It all started with brainstorming and sitting around in chairs not much different than these and just talking it out. What else can we do at the fairgrounds? And one specific individual, Paul Will, said, we need to do a flea market, and everybody was on board with that. Everybody agreed yes, and they started talking about, you know, the last time there was a flea market in Meigs County was X and X amount of years ago. I think it was in the 80s.
And it's really grown because from the beginning, you've never been just a flea. It's never been just a flea market.
No, right off the bat, it was recommended that we sign up also as a farmer's market. And we've had a really good response with that from people outside of Meigs County, even coming with their vegetables and produce that they grow themselves.
And you have a wide clientele. I mean, you have people that are coming to be vendors that are from here. You have a lot of local artisans, a lot of local crafters, a lot of local people. But you also have people that have been coming far away just to be able to set up at Meigs Trade Days.
Over half of our vendors are Meigs County residents. The other half come from all different directions. We've had vendors as far away as North Carolina, I might even be South Carolina, Indiana, and even from Mars, Pennsylvania.
Wow. Yeah. And they've been coming, and they spend the weekend in Meigs County.
Yes, they do.
And so tell us a little bit about how that works as far as setup goes and what happens.
If they want a specific spot ahead of time, they'll call me and say, hey, I want to be in this specific spot. And I'll recommend that they go ahead and send payment. I'll secure it. I'll make notes. I keep records of everything, of where everybody's sitting for that date. We have usually used the inside of the Thompson Roush building. That's worked really well for us. We have all the doors open. Everybody can social distance, even being inside. And then we also utilize the outside porches to help shade from the sun, and that's worked out really well.
And there's plenty of other space. I mean, the Midway is, I mean, if you've been to the Meigs County Fairgrounds, the Midway is big. We have plenty of space at our fairgrounds.
Yes. We keep the parking outside the gates and have everybody walk through the main gate, which is at the Thompson Roush building. And that way they can walk in, flow through the building, or walk around the outside if they, you know. And we are using the middle part of the fairgrounds, all the grass, and I keep all the vendors lined up through there, which we have a couple of different people that help us set up while Tara and I take registration.
So there's more. You've been involved with this from the beginning, and so has Tara Roberts.
Yes.
And then you have a couple other. I know that some of the Tara's on the fair board.
Tara's on the fair board. I'm strictly a volunteer.
And there's a couple others.
Paul Will is on the fair board. We've had some other help with Brian Wendi and Adam Smith, Brent Rose, and Danny Davis and his daughter Olivia, and other members of their family have helped with the events. So it's been really nice. We've had a lot of support.
And it's just strictly volunteers.
It's strictly volunteer.
That just decided, we want to do something here and we want to make it happen, and they're making it happen. That's how change happens, and things get accomplished. So tell us a little bit about what's coming up, because I know you have throughout the summer and into the fall. You're going to have once a month, except for August, because that's the month of the fair. And definitely everybody connected with the fair is quite busy that month, in preparation for and recovering from the fair. So tell us what your first event coming up here is. You had the spring craft show.
Right. As if the flea market wasn't enough work, we decided to have craft shows. And the craft shows were geared more towards people that actually hand sew, handcraft, hand turn wood. Your small direct sales companies like Avon, 31, Tupperware, things like that. And that is kept primarily to the Rutland Bottle Gas building and the Grange. We started with the Rutland Bottle Gas, and we very quickly filled that and decided we needed more buildings. Well, the next one available was the Grange, and that's the one we put the heat in. So it now has heat.
So as a direct result of starting this, there's been renovations, and if you haven't been out there, the Grange building doesn't look the same. There's real doors on it on the end, and they had to do some work to the floor. So there's a lot of different things in there, but there's more options now, especially if you were looking to utilize that space.
Yes.
So talk about what's coming up again with this one.
So our first flea market for 2021 is May 1st and 2nd, and I will be taking reservations for inside the Thompson Roush building. If we have enough interest for more inside spaces, we usually push those to the outer porches, and we can use the Rutland Bottle Gas if we have that much interest. We'll wait and see how much we have. And then of course anyone who sets up outside will be able to work around this building and up through the midway. And then we also have food concessions coming.
Oh, great.
Brickell's concessions will be setting up.
There.
Yes.
And they are always at the Meigs County Fair, and they've been good to be there throughout, with different events that are happening there. So if somebody is interested in Meigs Trade Days, how do they find out more?
They can look on Meigs Independent Press, and they can also use Facebook. Our numbers are on there to contact Tara or myself. We also have an email address that is meigscountytradedays@gmail.com. And then, of course, we have the Facebook page. And we collect information from that using Instant Messenger.
And it's Meigs County Trade Days.
It is.
And that's, so if you're looking for the Facebook page, you want to make sure you're looking for Meigs County Trade Days. And it's just an amazing thing to go out there and see. Of course, you're utilizing the fairgrounds.
Yes.
Now, explain a little bit about how does that benefit the fair? How does that help the fair to be able to use this?
Every dollar of the rentable spaces goes directly to the fair board. And they asked us what we want to do with that money. So they kind of ear tag it as money that's been brought in by the Meigs Trade Days and the craft shows. And we kind of push it towards things that need repair, or we actually haven't spent a lot of money yet.
And I know that there's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of ways that you could end up spending that. Now, most people don't necessarily understand how the fairgrounds operates. A lot of people think that it belongs to the county. So like the county commissioner is involved, but that's not how it works. No. The Meigs County Fair is actually owned by
the Meigs County Agricultural Society
and their board of volunteers, and they're elected by the membership. And if you want to be a member, you can purchase a membership from the organization. Some people, depending on how you want your fair pass, you can either just buy a fair pass or you can buy a voting fair pass, and that's your membership.
Yes.
And it's a couple dollars more. And then you can show up and vote for the fair board members. Now, The thing about that is it's all volunteer.
It is strictly volunteer.
And it's a lot of long hours, and it's not just on
It's not just the week of the
fair.
fair. It is not just the week of the fair. With 4-H and FFA, the kids tag in animals, so those fair board members have to be there for multiple tag-ins, like chick pickup, turkey pickup, poultry tag-in, rabbit tag-in, calf, lamb, hog, goat. All those animals have to be tagged. They have to be visually tagged in before they're able to come to the fair to participate as a market livestock project.
And there's a lot of rules and regulations that govern the fair.
There are about 18, 20 pages.
and so last year we didn't get to have a full fair. As of right now, knock on wood, as of this taping anyway, it's a full fair. So, when you're participating with being in a vendor space, or you're coming out and you're shopping with one of the vendors, you're helping to take care of our fairgrounds. You're helping to make sure that that's going to be there for our youth to be able to have all the things that they get to experience at the fair, the leadership opportunities that they get. There's so many different things that happen because of those fairgrounds. And we have such unique fairgrounds.
We do, with the 2 levels, yes. And with us having the flea market there multiple times a year, it also gives us a chance to look around and see what needs worked on, what needs improved on. There are a lot of days when, if you come out to the fair, you might see fair board members there actually having a work party at some part of the fairgrounds, repairing one building or cleaning out gutters, or just whatever things need done. And we also have the junior fair board hours available for them because they have to complete hours to be on junior fair board.
They have to do community service.
They have to do community service. So Meigs Trade Days also provides a few hours for them to help complete their requirements.
And if you're not familiar with the Junior Fair Board's whole purpose is about developing leadership, and it's about developing leadership right here at home with our own youth. And they're the ones that, especially if you're around the show ring, they're the young people that are running that. They're helping with the sale, they're helping with all kinds of things all week long, but they are hands-on experience in leadership. And that is one of the things. I mean, I don't try to hide it. I mean, I am alumni from 4-H, and I use the skills that I got in 4-H every day. I was also in Girl Scouts for a while, and the fair is just one of those places that you have the opportunity for so much leadership skills and just those soft social skills that are so important to be able to do. So
yes, and with the vendors at whether it's flea market or craft show, there's only so many of us volunteers to help people out, and sometimes they need help getting their products from their car to their table, or they might need help getting a table set up, and that's where Junior Fair Board comes in, and they say, excuse me, do you need help with that? And it's so nice because they're always so pleasant, and the vendors appreciate it, and it makes a nice flow to the event.
And it's one of those things, it's developing our youth right here, and just appreciate you being able to come in here and talk about this. Again, anybody wants any information on Meigs Trade Days, make sure you check out their Facebook page. We also have information on all of their dates and this year's Visitor's Guide, Experience Meigs County 2021. And also, always check out Meigs Independent Press, because I've always got stuff on there about what's coming up with the fair. And anything else you want to add?
We have camping this year.
Oh, we do.
At each event, yes. We asked for camping in the very beginning, but we didn't really push it because we wanted to spend more time concentrating on just getting the flea market started and the farmers market portion of it. So we concentrated on that first, and thank goodness that Tom Pullins' wife, Stacy Pullins, has stepped in, and she is helping with camping, and she's running it beautifully with the help of Danny Davis's daughters and Danny. And it was a really nice event at Halloween So we hope to have as much fun as we did with that event with the next flea markets, because we'll have camping at each one, as far as I know.
So you can make a whole weekend out of trade days. So, and there were events for the campers. They had activities. They had different things like that going on.
That was more so at the Halloween, the fall celebration.
But there's all kinds of things going on. Definitely vendors and things. So, and very affordable.
Very affordable at $35 a weekend.
So you can't beat that. And again,
you can bring your camper, hook up to electric and water, and hang out the whole weekend.
So if you're interested in being able to do that, again, check out Meigs County Trade Days Facebook page. And again, I'm Carrie Rose, Meigs Independent Press, and this is Wheels and Deals Community Spotlight. And we'll be back again next week. We'll talk about Meigs Countyans doing things for Meigs Countyans and the surrounding area.
This week's Community Spotlight is brought to you by Wheels and Deals of Pomeroy and the Meigs Independent Press.